Alright, what's going on everybody, it's Liam here, and welcome to today's video on the channel. Now in today's video, I want to talk about PvP and why I think it's so toxic. Also, I just want to kind of have a community discussion video on, why you guys might think PvP is toxic. If you're a PvE player, why do you not like PvP? And keep in mind, my perspective is coming from a player who's been playing for about 2 years, dabbling in PvP. Obviously I do PvP on the channel here, and I just figured, I'd offer my side on things. And if you're a PvE player, in the comments watching this video, feel free to let me know what you don't like about PvP. And, obviously this video, it's the toxicity, right? But we're trying to figure out why, players don't like that. What is toxic? What do you consider toxic? And what do you consider a turnoff in PvP? Is essentially my point of this video. Now, I've made like a bulletin point here on my phone, which we'll be going over. I've recently talked about this in a video, probably about almost a year ago now, something like that, but I figured I'd bring it up. And real quick before we get into this though, I just want to say, like I said, I made a video on this just a second ago, but Kingzala actually has managed to make the, the PvP arena a little bit less toxic, I would say. Not by much, but it is slightly better, so, I'll give credit where it's due right away before we get into the, the negatives. Okay, now the first thing I want to bring up is going to be a little bit controversial, but I do feel like it is important to bring up in this video, and that is, like, a toxic playstyle. When we're talking about toxic playstyles, obviously, for the most part, aside from maybe jading in 1v1 ranked PvP, not talking about jading in team PvP, that's a whole different ballpark. I'm talking about jading in 1v1 PvP when you have no intention on killing your opponent. Stuff like that, or just, people playing way too defensively, or people playing way too fast. Players really might not like that, or somebody who's packing like 10 minus 80 shields to your school, or 14 minus 70s, crazy stuff like that. Players, will deem that toxic. And again, that is subjective, and I think it's very important Kingzala looks at, that kind of stuff. I think the issue is here, you can be on a school that isn't so great in the meta. I'm not going to name names because, people freak out. They'll freak out, so I'm not going to say nothing, but you can be on a school that's not that great in the meta and feel like you're doing so much more work than your opponent. And for example, right now in the meta is shield gambit orientated. You can just see them shield over and over and get away when you actually feel like you have to go up Mount Everest, down, and then back up, and then down again to get that win. So overall, if it's not jading, I think players are just really unhappy with the game balance and the lack of effort that some schools have to put in the game right now, especially when they just spam shields over and over, and shield gambits are as good as they are right now. Again, this can go towards any type of playstyle. If you think someone is, jading, when they're not, or if they are, or someone's playing too slow, whether they are or not, or if someone's playing too fast, obviously it is subjective. But I think it's important to look at, why players feel this way. And I think it's just simply because, again, my playstyle, for example, I'll take it, for the sake of this video, I'm a very aggressive player on every school I play. I'm pretty successful on most of the schools I play, I would say. To me, I like having quick, fast games where your moves actually matter a lot. I'm not into longer games. They frustrate me. Typically because longer the games go on, your moves are less impactful. And again, that is subjective. That is my opinion on things. You can feel free to disagree respectively. That is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But as a casual player, my playstyle, I might go up against, a Jade or an ice shielding a lot, and I might be like, okay, this guy's being toxic and he's not putting in any effort to kill me. This is stupid. I don't like this. This is toxic. I don't want to PvP. That is basically my first point of the video. Again, this is not really objective. This is subjective, but I figured I'd bring it up. And if there's a dev watching, maybe they can, figure something out with that. And just let me know if you guys agree with that in general in the comments below as well. Next up, I want to talk about jading itself. Now this seems to keep coming up again and again and again and again in the meta, as you guys know. And again, I will reiterate, like I did at the start of the video, I'm not talking about 2v2, 3v3, 4v4, team PvP, house party PvP. I'm not talking about PvE, like freaking farming Malistaire. I'm not talking about that stuff. Because I think a lot of people hear the term Jade and like they're a life main in PvE and they get upset by that. I'm talking about in 1v1 ranked PvP where it has literally no place, right? PvP competitively is about who plays better should win. Just healing and not actually trying to play the game, that's not really competitive, you know? Now, I'm not saying you can't, you know, heal on the healing score. That's stupid. That's silly. You should be able to do that. But when players don't want to actually engage in trying to outplay their opponent or kill their opponent and just sit there and BM and heal, that's where the problem is, right? Jading right now is a bad sportsmanship behavior. And again, I'm not saying any sort of healing is bad sportsmanship right now. I'm not saying that in this video. And this is not towards team PvP or PvE. People are so sensitive on this goddamn topic, and it's ridiculous. But I know a lot of people, when Jades come back into the meta, they just stop healing up, right? Whether it's a storm, whether it's an ice, or a balance, you can't really do much against it. People just don't want to play. Again, this kind of ties into the subjective thing as well. If I have to work my butt off on a school, and then somebody can just Jade or shield 10 times to win, it's like, I don't want to play my school. My school sucks. They get ranked for doing nothing and cheesing, but I have to work my butt off, right? It's subjective. And overall in the community, there's just a big hate towards Jades and 1v1 ranked PvP. And most of it is warranted. It's been around since the dawn of time, I've heard, in PvP. And it still is here. Again, I think King Solid needs to probably add a bit more healing counterplay or just look at healing and again. Obviously, they took out incoming. But I don't honestly have a solution. I'm not going to act here and act like I know how to fix healing right now. But I think, you know, more counterplay to healing, like cards that can hit an infection like Banshee on the Spellmint path, maybe make a better version of that card, you know, to actually counterplay the healing would be great. But I don't see a problem with, you know, players having them to pack, you know, 1 or 2 infections. But I do see a problem when you expect players to pack like 4 and 2 or 3 folds. Because at that point, your opponent's healing so much to the point where they're kind of just going to ignore actually playing the game, which wouldn't make any sense because you're in 1v1 ranked competitive PvP. You should be playing the game, right? Now, another thing I want to talk about is like the bad sportsmanship and the overall toxicity in the arena. What I'm talking about basically is you might pull up to the arena here and Belgram and Blaze and Bailey might be talking wet. They might be like dropping IPs and stuff like that. They might be like, yo, bro, you're trash running that 6-round Uber boots, you sweaty dork, or something like that, bro. It's really toxic. But again, like I said at the start of the video, them making everybody have to queue up in the same arena actually has helped a lot of people, right? I've finished games, you know, where I beat, you know, a new player, and they asked me, hey, Liam, why are you running that robe over this robe? Should I get this pet over that pet? You know, there's good stuff with this new system, don't get me wrong, but when you pull up to the arena, like let's say Miss Bryn here pulls up, she's like, yo, I'm gonna try some Exalted PvP. But Michael and Bailey are beefing. It's like, do I want to be a part of this community? And again, it's kind of wild, but I think that can really turn people off. Another thing I want to talk about is the sportsmanship. When I'm talking about sportsmanship, I'm talking about cheating. I'm talking about, you know, stream sniping, Q sniping, exploiting, forcing ties, you know, stuff like that. Or setting your deck, which I guess is kind of like Q sniping in a way, or stream sniping. If you know you're gonna get somebody, right? If I queue up on my storm and I know I'm gonna get Heather, and I set my deck, you know, that's pretty stupid. I really wish KingSaw would do more stuff about this because it really just ruins the competitive integrity of 1v1 ranked PvP. In my opinion, I know a lot of other players, you know, feel that way as well in the meta. There's a lot of reasons. Again, that's kind of what this video is about, is, you know, why PvP is toxic, and, you know, the overall competitive integrity as well, I guess, could be included in this video. But yeah, I'm really upset and disappointed that KingSaw doesn't do anything about people, you know, either cheating or being bad sports. I really wish they encourage, you know, people to not cheat. You know, like the ban hammer came down. Is that even a saying? I don't know. I think it is. I hope it is. Or they encourage people for being good sportsmanships, and they would encourage good sportsmanship. You could look at something like Overwatch, where you can endorse a player, right? If I played Belgram on my death or something, and there's an actual good game, and he didn't set, and he didn't snipe, and he wasn't like toxic as hell, like I didn't hate his playstyle, I could endorse him, and he could get like an endorsement rank or something like that. That could be cool. But I think right now at the state of PvP, I think it just really pushes people away for a lot of reasons. Again, you know, whether it's subjective playstyle, Jades, the arena being toxic, like, you know, oh, I did your mom last night or something in the arena. Okay, I don't want to, I'm going to get away from here. I don't want to play PvP anymore, thanks. Not to mention, there's not very much incentives to play right now. Again, I will give credit where it's due. 5th Age has actually brought a lot of incentives to, you know, PvP. With the new crafter, you can get gold keys by crafting as well at the Mr. Marco guy over here. But I'm just talking about rank. Like, there's not really any rank lock stuff. I guess there's the gear, but the gear's not that good, and it hasn't been refreshed in quite some time. And all the cool stuff is like Warlord, but you have like 2 or 3 Warlords at max right now. And it's pretty hard to get because of how punishing Elo is right now. But yeah, I think the overall lack of incentives, cheating not being unpunished, toxic environment, subjective playstyles, Jade's unpunished, all of these things just really drives away new players, and I think it's really toxic. Again, KingsL has done a great job. I said this like 4 times this video, but I'm not going to be negative the whole video. I won't do it. KingsL has done a great job with trying to clean it up. But there's still more work to be done, and I think they can do better. I'm not trying to sound like an asshole when I say that. I just know they can do better, and I look forward to the day, you know, when we can get more new players in PvP. Whether that's, you know, making more cooler rewards at Marco over here, you know, or being a lot more strict on people, you know, cheating and, you know, being toxic and saying messed up things in the arena. And it's overall making the game, you know, more balanced as well. And yeah, I'm not going to get into too many details because people will freak out and be like, oh my god, Liam, your opinion, oh my god. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this video. Do you agree with my points? What do you guys think about PvP? Do you think it's toxic? Do you think it's not? If you do think it's toxic, let me know why in the comments below. And yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy it. Be sure to leave a like, rating, and subscribe if you made it this far. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for being here, and as always, take care, guys.